So good afternoon, everyone. Thank you very much for coming and joining us on this segment of DREI Talks. I'm Jeevan DeMello, and today I'm going to be talking to two leaders in the field of community management in Dubai, Mr. Ahmed Al-Suwaidi of Dubai Asset Management by Dubai Holding and Mohammed Kaiser Azad of Imar Community Management. I've had the great fortune of working with both these gentlemen, so I know how amazing they are and the amazing work that they do. But before we begin, just a little bit of housekeeping notes. All the attendees are muted, so you will not be able to speak. However, if you have any questions, please type it out in the chat box, but send it to only me. So privately, send it to me. I will read your questions, and then at the last part of the segment, where we're going to keep some time for the Q&A, I will ask those questions to either Ahmed or to Kaiser or both. Now, if we run out of time, which kind of happens all the time, those questions will be answered later on. We're going to put it on our website. Even this webinar is going to be recorded. It will be put on the DREI website later along with the Q&A. So don't be disappointed if we are not able to answer your questions. So we're going to begin now because I see we have a lot of participants. So we'll begin by saying a few words about the companies and about these two gentlemen. First, with Dubai Asset Management. Dubai Asset Management by Dubai Holding was founded 13 years ago. And since then, they have been a trusted partner in providing secure and reliable properties to live and work in. They serve both individuals and corporates through their portfolio of residential and commercial assets strategically located across Dubai. Their portfolio consists of 21 communities, around 41,000 homes, and more than 150,000 residents. 11 of these are jointly owned, or previously we used to call owners association communities, including Mudun, Remram, Dubai Wharf, and JBR Extra. Ahmed Al-Suwaidi is the Executive Director, Community and Property Services at Dubai Asset Management by Dubai Holding. He's an experienced professional with over 13 years experience in the real estate industry, assigned to plan, develop, and execute the strategies to manage diversified communities located strategically here in Dubai. I also want to state that Ahmed is currently a board member in the Special Assets Committee at the Commercial Bank International and also Etihad Capital. So welcome, Ahmed Al-Suwaidi.
Thank you very much, Jeevan. Good afternoon, everybody. First of all, I would like to thank you all, DREI and Jeevan, for having me today, and I hope it will be an informative webinar to all who are watching us. Welcome, everyone.
Thank you, Ahmed. I'll just now introduce Imar Community Management with over 200,000 residents, 11 master plan communities, 54,000 units and operations in 9 cities in the Middle East, Northern Africa, and Southeast Asia. Imar Community Management, quite well known as ECM, is an award-winning division of the Imar Group. It's an accredited association management company with CAI. It has various international standard certifications in quality, environment, energy, health, and safety management systems. The firm's community managers hold some of the highest qualifications in the industry, which underscores their quest for international best practices in community management. Mohammed Kaiser Azad has been an instrumental team member in shaping not only ECM, but also structured several aspects of the property management operations and processes since 2004. Kaiser became one of the founding members of ECM in 2006. Leading from the front line, he has managed day-to-day affairs of the community for various Imar developed communities. In 2014, Kaiser received the Professional Community Manager designation, becoming only the 3rd in the Middle East region, certified by CAI. He's also a recognized trainer by CAI and has delivered courses at DREI. So welcome, Kaiser.
Thank you, Jeevan. Thank you, DREI, for this amazing opportunity. And I welcome all our colleagues into this session, and I hope it'll be a very interesting one.
Thanks, Kaiser. Thank you. So I'm going to start with you, Ahmed.
Fine.
Though the recent lockdown and stay home initiatives have been extremely important to stop further infection and to flatten the curve during this pandemic, it has also caused many residents inconvenience and stress. So, what steps have you taken to keep these residents safe, comfortable, and happy during this time?
In Dubai Asset Management, our main purpose to enable the best possible future for anyone who wants to call Dubai home by creating meaningful living experience. Therefore, it was essential for us to take the right steps to keep our communities, residents safe and happy at this current lockdown situation. Safety of our residents is on the top priority. We increased the disinfection practices, ensuring every community lobby and common area have been properly sanitized and safe for use. Our team are always ready to provide immediate help to our clients when they need by keeping all communication channels open. Recently, one of our initiatives was to arrange healthcare package delivery and distribution to over 5,000 residents across Dubai asset management communities, including sanitizers, masks, gloves, etc. In addition of waiving of all service charge late payment penalties for 2019. Also, I would like to add here, preparing the preventive plan to identify each community minimum requirements and the worst scenario. We have ensured that the essential services such as cleaning, waste collection, and maintenance are being done and maintaining with a high HSC standard. Without any interruption, we are always keen on making our residents informed by sending a newsletter and using other marketing channels to introduce our online activities and requests.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Ahmed. Kaiser, what about you from ECM side? What have you been doing?
I think just to add on to what Ahmed was saying, health and safety is of course the top priority. But at the same time, there's a lot of emphasis on how do we keep the community engaged. Lack of social interactions and psychological depressions can be quite dangerous. So we embarked on several initiatives to keep our residents engaged, like competitions for kids to do art, photography contests for homemade handicraft for adults, DIY garden contests. And we went into a bit of an extra mile to call our residents. We have been collating lists of residents who are senior citizens or who are people of determination, to call them up, to check on them, to regularly get their feedback, distribute safety packs. We tied up with leading medical providers to provide free telehealth services for a handful of our customers, including free medicine delivery. And then we are also looking at free healthcare and well-being webinars. And one of the key things is, as much as we are passionate about our residents, we also have an obligation towards our community staff, because their health and safety will directly or indirectly impact the health and safety in the community. So we went a bit of a way to check their living conditions, the medical facilities, the right protocols are being followed in their labor camps, or they're having the right treatment, because we also want to ensure that our staff operate under a safe and healthy environment. Yeah, that's it.
Thank you very much. I'm glad that you talked about even keeping our staff and our service providers safe during this time, because often enough we focus a lot on the residents, but we somehow forget about our service providers, our workers, who are of course the frontliners in this battle as well.
Yes.
Ahmed, you mentioned something about, and in fact, Kaiser, you also mentioned the same thing about the sanitization kits and safety packs. Ahmed, did you get any good feedback because of that?
Yeah, actually, we start last week to deliver the package to our residents, and we received a lot of positive feedback from our residents. And we delivered around, let's say, around 3,500 package box. But by end of this week, it will be delivered all of them to the all residents, which is around 5,000 residents. which is in
Wonderful.
fact, we received a lot of positive feedback from our residents.
I think this is the time that all residents in communities are looking to their community managers to really provide that kind of framework of support. So it's very, very nice thing that both the companies are doing on this front. Kaiser, what challenges have you? I'm sure you have faced a lot of challenges during this time. Obviously, your staff had to work at home, or 30% have to be on site. What are these challenges that you faced in the last few weeks?
During the lockdown period, I think, all my colleagues will agree with me that residential communities saw the largest occupancy levels. And because everybody was home, schools were closed, and this is going to continue for some more time. This led to a lot of drawing of community resources and utilities, and the need for more hygiene, upkeep, and access control procedure. And also, we've seen an increase in home deliveries during this time, which meant that stricter protocols and checks needed to be carried out at every access point. The community staff needed to be upskilled to manage and operate under this new environment that we are going through right now. And every day was about focusing on maximizing efficiencies in our community. And all of this without impacting the service quality and resolution, because one of the key things was to maintain a balance between cost and service delivery, because this is the a big challenge during this point in time. We have created accommodations for our staff and team members on site, so they are based on site, attending to customers, attending to operations during the lockdown. And there is also the risk of infection, amongst staff or in the community, and that needed careful planning and execution to make sure that we had the right tools, the right isolation rooms, right procedures and protocols in line with the local authorities to adhere to all the guidelines. And of course, there's always this challenge of some residents not adhering to the request and not staying home and not staying safe. All that's quite disheartening. We have to be a bit strict on this matter for the greater good of the community.
Absolutely. What about you, Ahmed? I'm sure you must have faced very similar kind of situations.
Yes, you are right. Actually, we adapted a proactive approach from the early stage of the pandemic. We have taken our safety action in communities by closing the all amenities and facilities area, placing notices to inform our residents and for their own safety, and introducing the guideline and the protocol by HSC team to ensure smooth services and operations are being provided to our clients. We're ensuring all MAP and the important life safety equipments are always maintained properly, in addition to ensuring proper allocation of service providers' manpower while maintaining all safety measures. As a result, we managed to overcome the challenges and convert it to opportunities and achievements, utilizing the current lockdown to finalize the all ongoing improvement and enhancement in our communities.
Thanks, Ahmed. Kaiser, you said something about residents not complying, and I think that is a challenge that most people have. I've been on several webinars over the last few weeks. I've spoken on a webinar in the US, in Brazil, in Spain. In fact, I'm going to do a webinar in Argentina on Saturday. And whenever I speak to all these different community managers, the situation seems to be very, very similar. And one of the top issues that came out of that was that people are not complying. So, Kaiser, you mentioned about people not complying. So how did you handle that part? I mean, were there just a few people, or this was a kind of a general trend? And because Ahmed also mentioned about closing the amenities, I'm sure, Ahmed, when you've closed the amenities, a lot of people are upset about that.
Yes, and we faced a lot of challenges the first 1 or 2 weeks. Maybe Kaiser also, he faced the same issues. Yeah, but the good things now, after we send them the newsletter and the guideline from our side and from the government itself as well. So most of them, they are following now the instruction from the government.
I think it's also like about educating residents, and what we're trying to achieve is not just their safety, but safety of their friends, their families, their neighbors, their community. So there's a greater good in this overall compliance. Yes, we had to be strict with some residents to get them back home. But it was in the early days, it was a general trend, but over time people realized the whole magnitude of what we're dealing with. So it has seen an improvement, and of course the government policy and procedures have helped us a lot.
Of course. Ahmed, you had mentioned in the earlier conversation about waiving of all the service charge, I think the late payment fees and stuff like that, I believe.
Yes.
What was the reaction from people? Did people expect that, or were they happy, or some said it was not enough?
Yes, yes. Actually, we start waiving the penalties for 2019 to increase the collection of 2019 service charge. And a lot of positive feedback we received from the residents, which they are happy. Most of these residents, they are facing a lot of challenges. In fact, of let's say some, as we agreed, like we are in current situation, we are facing a lot of challenges. So they are happy, and they took it as a positive, let's say, start from our end. And I believe most of us, we should follow the same.
Okay. And so my next question really to Ahmed is that what advice do you have now? Obviously, being in this leadership position in the both of you are leaders of community management, not only of your own communities, but even in Dubai, you are considered as leaders. And therefore, what advice, Ahmed, would you give to your residents during this time, in particular, during the lockdown?
Actually, our advice to keep themselves and their families safe, not going out unless necessary, and avoid family and friends visits and grouping. Keeping themselves informed on safety measures, rules, and regulations, the government authorities. It's very important to ensure that all of us receiving trusted sources. Responsibility as a community manager is not just on area. Our responsibility to create a healthy and pleasant environment for our residents. Also, I would like to add additionally here, we advise our residents to make the best use of online available platforms for online education, training courses, utilize their time in family activities, and increase their quality time. And we are always saying them, stay connected with your family, friends, co-workers through available application and platforms.
Okay, I'm not sure. It seemed there were some connection issues. I could not hear Ahmed too clearly. So Ahmed, just check your connections. However, just on a follow-up thing on this, people gathering. I know there are certain restrictions of people, too many people gathering in their home, and maybe either Kaiser or Ahmed can answer this. Did you have a situation where there were a lot of people coming, let's say for a small home party, and did you have to interfere in it? Did any kind of incident like this ever occur?
We had few isolated cases, but it was not something alarming.
Okay.
And they were promptly dealt with by our security team and our community teams. So it was dispersed fairly quickly. It was just one of very few isolated cases.
Okay. Yes, I agree with Kaiser. There are a few cases like we face in our communities, but we manage it actually.
Okay.
You said even there is something wrong in my connection when you.
Yeah, just now you're perfectly fine. I just wanted to make sure. Now it's perfectly fine. Just in the middle, there was a little bit of disturbance. Just Kaiser, just to follow up on what I asked Ahmed, what about you from your side? Do you have any specific advice to residents during this time, especially of your communities?
I think when we looked at the trend, and quite a few complaints that we received from residents were due to noise from neighbors. And we investigated these noise, they were mostly due to domestic disagreement between spouses. Yeah, shouting, banging doors, or one of the spouses will play loud music. And we had seen this trend. So just taking this example, I would just request everyone to spend more meaningful time with the family and catch up on things that we have missed, because we all live in a very transient environment and very busy, and we fail to catch up on the smaller details of our families. I think this is a good time to get in touch and really, spend quality time with your families, get involved in some physical well-being, of course, indoors, not outdoors. And learn to cook something new, learn a new language, perhaps catch up with your university and school friends. I recently did that last weekend on an online meeting platform. It was really interesting, where you can plan up your schedule accordingly. And I really like what Ahmed mentioned about
Most of the
doing
indoor
trainings.
activities, yeah.
Yeah, doing trainings. Learn something new, do some new training, get some new skills, and enhance your professional capability.
And most of the university, they are offering the online courses. Some of them, they are free. Example, Harvard University, they have 64 courses free for the online.
Absolutely, and I know, and both of you know, and many of you know, I'm a great believer in good education and continuing education. And there are a lot of resources out there. I myself must have done at least 6 courses during this time. In fact, I'm doing a course on in Harvard, which is a free course, and it's because I'm an architect. It's about
completed 6 courses even.
Sorry.
You completed 6 courses?
6, yes, I completed 6
I will
already.
follow you next week. I will complete my 6.
Okay, wonderful, wonderful. So I think it's a great time and great. And then, in fact, there are a couple of questions that have come in regarding this, and I'm going to ask this. And I thank people for sending questions. I just want to reiterate that questions can be asked directly to me in private. I will be reading the questions out, and in the last part of our session, I will be asking those questions also. Please do send your questions in. If you are unable to answer all your questions, we promise you that we will answer those questions later and put it on our website. So just to continue on our conversation, starting with Kaiser, how has this pandemic changed the way you and your team work now, especially considering that community management is an on-site profession, right? We're always on the ground. We're always running from place to place. We're getting things fixed. So this has probably dramatically changed the way that we work. So how has it affected you and your team?
Well, it has definitely changed everyone. Coupled with the slowdown in global economy, things have not been easy, but I'd say it's been very challenging. And for me, it has been fun. The pace and agility at which we adapted, reorganized, reassigned, re-strategized, redeveloped in this uncertain environment by the team is quite commendable. And to be honest, the pace of change that we have undertaken in the last 1 month, I've not seen such a radical and fast change to adapt to a situation in the last 5 to 10 years. I mean, the incredible pace at which things have moved and we have adapted is simply amazing. I think the words efficiency and effectiveness have an entirely new meaning right now to what it was a month ago. We have so much to lose, but at the same time, we have so much more to gain. Accolades or achievements of the past means nothing. We are starting from scratch. Every day is starting from scratch. And in this time, we are actually acting like a new business startup every day. Aggressive, demanding, hungry for success, passionate about our residents and service delivery, and trying to be the best in everything that we do. At this point in time, technology has overtaken a lot of the day-to-day things that we do. So that is also a primary focus. How can we technologically disrupt ourselves? And of course, the bottom line matters. So we have to be extremely cost conscious. So the overall success dimensions that measures have changed. We are exercising caution. We are looking at the larger picture of success and being aggressive about it. It's a whole new canvas that you can draw right now.
Absolutely. Well said, Kaiser. And I 100% agree with what you guys are doing. And that's really the only way to move forward. I was on a webinar yesterday with one of the top management gurus in the United States. And of course, he was speaking. And a question was put is, what is your advice considering this pandemic and what we should do? And he turned around. He said, the only answer I can give you is because I don't know. He says, nobody knows. We are all making it up as we go along. And he said this point, we have to start from the start. We have to start like startups. So I really appreciate what you've been saying. Ahmed, what about you? How has this pandemic changed the way that you and your teams work? Ahmed?
Well, in fact, this is a very important question. Yeah, you hear me?
Yes. Go ahead.
Yes. In fact, this is a very important question, Jeevan. Dubai Asset Management adapted several proactive approach of workforce distribution from the beginning of the pandemic, according to the government restriction. Actually, we have started working remotely as some of the team members keep visiting sites to complete inspection with the high work communities and work tasks are being implemented effectively without any impact. Actually, as a result, we have become more organized in terms of working remotely.
Ahmed, sorry, can you please repeat that because you were not clear?
From beginning?
Yeah, I think you just start. Yeah, if you can just start again, please, because you were not very clear.
In fact, what I'm trying to say, in fact, this is a very important question, Jeevan.
Okay.
In Dubai Asset Management, we adopted several proactive approach of workforce distribution from the beginning of the pandemic, according to the government restriction. And also we have started working remotely as some of our team members keep visiting sites to complete inspection with a high standard of safety practices to ensure that all our communities and work tasks are being implemented effectively without any impact. As a result, we have become more organized in terms of working remotely. And here I would like to highlight that working remotely doesn't mean that we are not connected. As we are always together, we become more engaged with communities, communication, and more teamwork. In fact, adapting the new technology of online transaction and utilize the platform and working remotely have led us to positive results.
Actually, I must 100% agree with you, Ahmed. And this is what I found out in recent times, that people, and I don't know, maybe people will disagree with me, but I find that we can be far more productive when we are actually online. I mean, I've been having a lot of, almost on a daily basis, because I'm a consultant, I deal with many companies, and I'm having this remote session, one-on-one session. I'm sorry, you said something?
Yeah, I said right, yeah.
Yeah, so I am, and when I'm talking, I'm having these one-on-one sessions with a lot of teams, and everybody's on time. Everybody is there. You know, in the previous times, we have meetings, somebody is not available, you know, they're parking their car, they're late for the meeting, but now nobody has got any excuses. So people are there on time, the meetings are short, they're very productive, you can see people's faces. So I found out, and people may disagree with me on this, but I found out that we can actually be more productive actually doing this remotely. Do you agree with me, Ahmed and Kaiser?
Yeah, agree with you. Yes.
I think we've had more conversations online than we ever had while we were in the office, and I agree to that. And my team members in ECM can also vouch for that. We discuss everything, every detail. And it's I don't know, it's just a sense of being online makes us more free.
Actually, they started working 24/7, Kaiser, yes. Most of the team members. We start receiving emails at 2 a.m., 1 a.m., 4 a.m. sometimes.
I think once I had a meeting at 11 a.m. to discuss implementing some urgent strategies, and everybody was spot on. 11 o'clock sharp, the meeting started. 11:30, we were out.
Absolutely, no, that's great. I'm having a lot of positive responses from our team. Laura has said, I agree 100%. Thanks, Laura Shori, for joining us here. Of course, she's a very important player in the real estate industry, so we're very happy to have you. Several other people are saying the same thing about how they find the this lockdown or this remote work from home culture actually more productive than before. I'm going to take a couple of questions. Several questions have come in. Makram has asked this question. What are the new measures set by community managers once the lockdown has been lifted? So is life going to go back to normal, Kaiser, or is it going to change? What are you going to do about it?
I think what we have established right now is the new norm. Whatever, as I was saying, achievement, success we've had in the past, it's all done, it's closed. The way we're looking forward post this pandemic is, yes, things will reopen, but we will still exercise a lot of caution. and we have to be honest and brutally honest with ourselves that it is going to take some time to recover.
Sure.
And the phase approach of lifting the lockdown is the most sensible thing to do. And whatever we've established in community management in terms of health and safety standards, the health and safety standards have gone a great mile in terms of success and deliverable. So this is going to become the new norm. The things that Ahmed was talking about related to maintenance, related to cost and service balance, these are becoming new standards that we have set, adapting to this crisis. So we are in the new standard. We are implementing the new norm that is going to dictate the future tomorrow.
Absolutely. So Ahmed, do you agree with that? I mean, is it going to be?
I agree with you and Kaiser. There is nothing to add on you guys, but you cover the most of what we are facing and how we will move forward, actually.
Absolutely. So again, a lot of comments from people. Shamira said, yes, no more traffic jam excuse. more business. Absolutely. I also want to welcome a lot of our people. We've got a lot of people who have joined us. Abdullah Bezad, Alanud, all our friends are here. We've got Alia Sharif who's joined us. We've got my friend Alina Cochran from the United States, a great property manager, community manager. From North Carolina. Welcome, Alina. It's great to see you here. We've got Ambika. We've got Amit Jaiprakash, ex-ECM guy, I think, coming in from India. Thank you very much. We've got Anuradha here. We've got Carl. We've got Clara from DR, I think. We've got Fatima, Fauza, Friju. Thanks for joining us. We've got George Marshak from our team. We have also with us in our group Her Excellency Hind Almari, who is the CEO of Dubai Real Estate Institute. So thank you, Ms. Hind, for joining us. We've also got Ms. Hiba Jabbar, one of our senior trainers at DREI, and she's done some amazing webinars. I request any of you to please join the webinars hosted by the DREI Talks, because they're very informative. I know Tarub has done an amazing job as well. We've got a lot of people. I can't go through everybody's name, of course, but we just want to thank everybody for joining us. And we shall continue. Please do send us your information as we move along. I've got another question that has come in, is that you guys are both excellent community managers. How can I become a community manager like you? So Ahmed, would you like to answer that? Ahmed?
Actually, they must take more training courses. They must practice the things, and then the experience that will come. When they will face the challenges and they will change it to achievements, this is the experience actually itself. So it will take time, but that all, as I said, challenges, it's as an experience with opportunity as well.
Absolutely. And Kaiser, do you agree that this has actually given community managers a unique challenge, maybe an opportunity for them to shine? What do you think?
Definitely. I strongly believe that the opportunities that have come along with this and the adaptation and the agility that and the perseverance that people have shown is something that is unprecedented. I mean, what we've seen people adapt to the challenges to try to deal with something new in an uncertain or a VUCA environment, as we call them, is very positive. And learning on the go is the key to success. And I really would like to stress a point that you have taught me all the years is have that positive attitude. If you have that positive attitude, nothing will pull you down and there will be no barriers.
Absolutely. I always believe that the greatest
attitude like to add on Kaiser point, like our daily task, it is a daily challenges, a daily experience. So every day we are getting something new, this is the good things which we are facing in daily basis. Actually, correct me if I'm wrong, Kaiser.
100%. Every day is something new, and that's the beauty of community management industry and becoming a community manager. You seem to be an engineer, you seem to be a customer service agent, you seem to be a financial guy, you seem to be a legal guy. You have your fingers in every trade, and you learn. And the
So
more you
you
learn,
are right.
the experience you gain, and that experience translated into positive actions and result is the recipe for a successful manager.
Absolutely. I'm very happy to hear all these words from both of you, something that I believe in. And additionally, training and the reader, I've got another question that somebody asked about what training courses should I do? And as you know, that DREI has many training courses authorized by the Community Association Institute, which is the, many of us belong to that institute. I'm a board member of the institute, as many of you know. So we've got very, very good training programs. Many of them are online as well. And as we go ahead, there will be many more training programs available. So training is definitely essential for your growth, but there is no doubt that experience tops that as well. So learning from the teachers out there from best practices, but putting those best practices in real practice makes a difference. And I just want to put this point out there that we are called to be leaders. And this is something that we often forget, that we are leaders. We are called to be leaders. And in order for us to be leaders and to lead, we need to have that knowledge and we need to have that experience. And I know both Ahmed and Kaiser are putting a lot of effort into their education and training of their staff. Of course, I've been blessed to have trained both their staff, and therefore I know the amount of effort they're putting. And Ahmed, just on this training, because I know that Ahmed himself has gone for the training programs and he has learned a lot. Do you want to just speak very briefly about training?
Actually, just I will add on what you mentioned. I suggest all of the people who's interested in community and property management to attend courses through DREI. From my side, I attend many courses with Hiba Jaber, with other team members. We attend a few courses, which is, I believe it was with Harvard University, and something which is related to DREI. So I suggest from my end, if you would like to get more knowledge and more skills, I suggest you guys, there is a list of training courses, which is available in DREI. It is a very informative training courses. You just need to register and start improve your skills and the area where you feel there is an area to improve.
Excellent. So I've got a couple of other questions here, and I'm going to read it, in fact, asked by Hebar. She says, hello, Jeevan, any plans for community management and companies to revisit and reevaluate their financial budgets in light of COVID-19? Kaiser, do you want to take that?
Yes. So I think as we are responsible for our residents, for our homeowners who pay us their service charges, and it is our fiduciary responsibility to actually go back and review the whole process to help our customers by us looking at more cost efficiencies, by us looking at optimizing savings. It's just for us to give back to our homeowners so that they pay less, and it's also our job to manage the best of services at all times. So yes, we have been very aggressive on this front. We are, in some communities, we have maxed up to 20%, 25%. So there is a growing trend on looking at revisiting the contract, revisiting our energy management practices, revisiting how technology can be further used to optimize costs and reduce dependencies on physically identifying failures. There's a lot of work that is going on around that. Around those principles.
Ahmed, from your side?
I would like to add something here, Jeevan. As you're aware, 30 to 40% of the service charge, it is going to the utilities. So we are putting more efforts to reduce the utilities cost, where we invest in the saving energy without any capex. So we started this last year in 2019, and we saw a very positive result. Also in 2020, we continue investing in these projects to reduce the utilities, let's say, cost. As a result, for the current situation with the COVID-19, as you are aware, most of the amenities closure and minimizing the manpower, we have reached a significant saving, which have a positive result on the service charge reduction, also in the energy saving. So I believe, yes, there is a positive result when we started the beginning of this year.
Okay. Ahmed, there's a question that's come actually, especially for you. The person says, I know that the communities handled by Dubai Asset Management has done a lot of good work in the recent times, I'm assuming since you have joined, to make the community amenities better, to refurbish a lot of areas. Are you going to continue this work?
Of course, this is the beginning actually. We put our strategy in place. I believe you are even aware about my vision and about my future plan.
Yes.
What was done for last year and this year, this is just the beginning. So there is a lot of things the people who is living in Dubai, they will see the improvement in the communities. As I said previously, managing the community is not just to maintain the common area. Our responsibility to create the healthy environment, our responsibility to secure our residents and to keep them happy where they live. Most of us, we are focusing on the facilities area, as a kids play area, multi-purpose, let's say, area. So this is our responsibility to keep them happy and to focus more on the customer service, and also to hear from them most of their suggestion, where we more of their suggestion, where it can give us chance to improve ourselves in our communities also, and then to do more enhancement as well.
Excellent. There is another question about service charges. In fact, there are 2 or 3 questions about service charges. Now, for example, the communities have waived off late payment charges and all that. What about people who are unable to pay their service charges because they've lost a job or anything? Is there kind of some payment plans? Are there some things have you done? Are you going to do?
Yes, we started this initiative, but the owner, they must come up with a let's say justification. We have a payment plan to pay the service charge for who's let's say lost their job or they are facing a financial issue. So we are offering a payment plan for these people.
Okay, that's good. Kaiser, anything from you?
Yeah, I think payment plans is becoming a new norm again. A lot of residents, because of their cash flow issues or because they've lost their job, are looking at payment plans, and we're extremely flexible with that. And we've also coordinated with several leading banks in Dubai to offer 0% financing on service charges up to 12 months. So that is being rolled out as well. So residents will have an array of options to pay their service charges and benefit their own community.
Okay, I've got a question from Shelly, and hi Shelly, nice to see you here again. Shelly's asked this question: will the situation minimize face-to-face interaction with the communities? Will there be events in the future, community events? Kaiser, you want to talk about that?
Community events and engagement is part of what we do.
Yes.
Yes, I do see as situation improves, we will be getting back into community events. We will be having a lot more personal interaction, personal engagement with our residents. Until then, rely on technology.
Okay. Ahmed?
I believe most of the things will be through the platforms, the whole, let's say, exercise.
Excellent. Okay, so we have got another question, a rather sad one. I wouldn't say sad, is that I lost my job as a community manager. Is there a future in community management? The laws have changed. Should I look for a different profession, or should I continue to being a community manager? And my answer, before both of you say, I think this is a beautiful profession. My colleague Alina, who's coming in from the United States, will agree with me as well. And I know thousands and thousands of community managers around the world. As I said earlier in the conversation, I've been doing webinars across the world. I'll be doing one with Argentina on Saturday. And I can tell you they're the most enthusiastic people I've met. And as Kaiser alluded to earlier, community managers, they're good at everything. They're good at presentation skills. They're good at budgets. They're good at events. So what would the advice that you would give? Maybe starting with Mr. Ahmed, what is the advice that you would give?
Actually, I keep saying to my team, I'm telling them always, the development one day will stop. But the community management and property management, this is the long-term investment.
Right.
Where you will invest in yourself as experience, skills. As you are aware, when we say the development will stop, it means the community management will continue. 30, 40 years, 60 years, this is all depend on the project, let's say, age. But as I said, this is the future. The future when it's come to the community management and property management. And there is, let's say, a big area where we can improve ourselves and part of the community management and services. As you are aware, we started this for last few years. We start research about the community management and the best practices to be used in US or in Singapore and other countries, and we start implemented as well in Dubai. So I believe my advice to all of them, focus on the property and community management for the next few years.
Exactly. I would fully endorse what Ahmed is saying, because this is a fairly recession-proof business, because wherever in the world communities have to be maintained, they have to be managed. This is not something that you can start. It's not a project you just start and finish and go away. These communities have to be maintained, and you will typically find in other jurisdictions like in Australia and in Europe and United States and South America, that community managers have been managing community for, I know one person who's been in the same community for 30 years in the United States, managing that same community, and he would never want to leave.
If you remember, even last, let's say, November, when we discussed to go to US to meet the community managers in US, to understand what is the best practices to be used in US, also in Singapore. Right. So it was their plan, but unfortunately,
it got cancelled. Yes. So just for everybody to know, there have been many conferences that were supposed to take place this year for community management. And I was actually speaking at all of them. That was in Spain, in the United States, in Mexico, and in Brazil, and also in Canada. Unfortunately, all of them have been cancelled. And I know that Ahmed was supposed to go and Kaiser was supposed to go as well. But it's been postponed till next year. So inshallah, all of us will be on it.
I wish inshallah next year.
So we've just got a few more minutes left. I know there are a lot of questions. We can't go through all the questions. And before we end, and we'll try to take one or two more questions just before we end. But, I believe that every dark cloud has a silver lining. That means no matter what the situation is, there is something positive that can come out of it. So Ahmed, in your point of view, what has been the positive results of this pandemic? I know maybe people will say this has been a horrible experience, it's been a worse for everybody, but there has been some positive things. So what do you believe are those positive things?
Of course. Actually, as you are aware, this is the first time happened in the world. So this is the first experience. When the pandemic started, we met with our team, we discussed how we can move forward. We start using the online platforms, and we became, let's say, experts now to work remotely. As you are aware, most of our responsibility to be in the ground. Yeah. But if you ask me how you manage it, I have a secret behind that. So it is the first experience to us, but we put the plan in the place. We have a different scenarios. We put plan A, B, C, and all of them, it's happened actually. When it started the first pandemic, 50%, then 70, then 90. So as I will keep saying, this situation, it's really forced us to use the platforms to get more experience to work remotely.
Absolutely. Kaiser, from your side?
I think, first of all, I'd like to say that we're so blessed to be living in the UAE in a city like Dubai. And the strategies implemented by the rulers and the governments to ensure the well-being of people and businesses, regardless of where they come from, race, religion, culture, it's not there anywhere else in the world. I think we have to look at these parts that the government is trying to drive and translate them into our day-to-day environment, and that should result in happiness for our residents, happiness for our people. And we have to keep a clear mindset on our goals. And this will be the key for success. Yes, we made a lot of tough decisions, and we will continue to make tough decisions, and we'll adapt to it. I mean, both on a business side or a personal front. A situation like this, as Ahmed rightly said, it's once in a lifetime. I think the last major pandemic was in 1918 during the Spanish flu.
Correct, Spanish flu, yes.
the teamwork, the abilities, the new skill sets that you kind of get introduced to, or you recognize that people have, like the hidden or their dormant talent that is coming up right now, to make sure that we all are gelled together to drive that service delivery. Uh, it's amazing. To, to put it in a positive way, we are transitioning into something better.
Yes.
And that's how I would say it. We're transitioning into something positive and something better.
Absolutely. For me, I believe this pandemic has been a great opportunity, an opportunity for us to grow smarter, to grow stronger, more resilient, and actually bring out all our talents. And personally, it has been very helpful to me. I've been doing things that I never did for a very long time. One of the things, spending time with my family. I remember my mother, my wife, and my mother and my daughter, and in my family, they always tell, "Oh, you're a workaholic. You don't have enough time to spend with us." Believe me, I've been spending so much time with my family, they're waiting for me to leave the house now. And not only that, I've been talking to my mother. Thanks to technology, I've been talking to my mother, who's 78 years old, but she's almost on a daily basis chatting with me on WhatsApp, on doing conference calls on Zoom. She has actually told me, "Son, after many years, you have spent more time with me than before." So I believe this has been a great time for us to
Yes.
re-energize ourselves, to refresh ourselves, and I'm sure you feel the
I
same.
would
Ahmed?
like to add something here, Jeevan. As I mentioned earlier, the pandemic forced us to continue working remotely, which is
Yes,
really, in fact, has increased the productivity of employees and shows, let's say, a great result of cooperation, commitment, and achievements as well. A lot of achievements happened for last few weeks.
absolutely. We've just got a few more minutes before we end. So I'm going to, first of all, just thank everybody else for joining in. A lot of people I can see here: Ramayana, Mohammad Al Omar, Mohammad Musa from DREI, welcome, Mohammad Mustafa, and Sharif and Wenzel. I know he's joined us. Tulika as well. Thank you very much. Nelson, Dominic, a lot of friends, a lot of people from the community management profession. Fatima is here, Fauza as well. Cheryl Zamoras is here. Welcome. Thank you, everybody. I did not have chance to, thank everybody for joining in, but we have a lot of people. We are very grateful to you for joining in. A lot of compliments to Ahmed and to Kaiser for everything they have been saying. Last couple of questions I'm going to take. I have one suggestion who says that this is Abdullah Behzad, our friend. One suggestion: during this pandemic, managers should have a 30-minute regular meeting to stay connected with their staff, to stay connected as a social activity. And somebody else also mentioned, asking this question: what are you doing as managers to keep connected to your staff? Maybe not just work way, but keep them motivated. So we have just 5 minutes more, and let's go ahead with that. Maybe Ahmed, from your side first.
What I'm trying to say here, I would like to say that this pandemic has taught us all adapt a new lifestyle of safety and preventive action as well. Actually, we start thinking out of the box. The pandemic also showed us the importance of the technology's solutions in providing our services to our clients and also in our life transactions for a better tomorrow. I think we look forward to apply new practices to be implemented not only for now, also for long run. As we keep saying, yes, is it, let's say, a tough time, but we can challenge the challenges to be opportunity to achieve our goal. That's it.
Excellent. And so, sorry, Kaiser, you wanted to say something?
No, I think I really am
Okay.
a big believer in motivation and motivating our staff. It's not, I mean, at this time, I don't believe that a 30-minute personal meeting with the entire team would be feasible. But there is the technology, like Ahmed rightly said, and I make it a point to meet every single team through Microsoft Teams or through Zoom or through other meeting methods once a month or every few weeks as much as I can, to get to speak to them, not about work, but about things outside work, just to make sure that they're happy and they are in the right track. in their personal lives.
Okay, and Shelly, sorry, Ahmed, you want to say something?
Just I would like add to Kaiser. Yes, currently we are more connected with our team. Maybe previously we meet every month or every 2 weeks. Now I believe we are meeting more, maybe daily, weekly, with the all team members. That communication actually it is really healthy to come up with a new suggestion, idea from the team member, start hearing from the old team members. It's really, I did that for last few weeks, and there is a lot of a good suggestion where we implemented in the ground actually. So this is really a right time to start connect with different, let's say, communication and with different suggestions from their end.
Thank you. A lot of thanks are coming from all the various team members to you, Ahmed, and to Kaiser, and some to me as well. Thank you. It's saying that please let's continue to having this discussion. This is very motivational. We are learning a lot from this. It's nice to see leaders. A lot of good comments. Shelly has asked some very interesting. She said, "Thank you, Jeevan, Kaiser, and Ahmed for this session. Good to be in touch with the community management team in the UAE. Is the last Thursday of every month social gathering still there?" So just for you to know, every last Thursday, so every month, I used to organize a gathering of all our community management people, where we used to go to, a place for us to sit down, a restaurant, or just an outing. We just chat, not talk about work, just fun things. Unfortunately, we had to stop that because of this. But I want to assure Shelly and everybody out there, we will continue once the lockdown is over. But here is an opportunity. Maybe Shelly, you can do it. Maybe you can do a virtual Zoom last Thursday of the month. I'm sure it'll be very popular. So maybe take that on board and try to do that. Before we end, we've just got 2 minutes. I just want to ask both Kaiser and to say a few words before we leave. So starting with Kaiser.
Firstly, Jeevan, thank you, the whole team of DREI, for setting this session up. Really informative from the exchange of ideas, hearing from Ahmed, looking at the questions. I think it's something that I have personally have some takeaways from myself as well. So it's just not about me talking, but also receiving a lot of important feedback and education from this. And I think that's the way to go, that we should continue to do sessions like this. We should continue to educate ourselves.
Absolutely. Ahmed?
Actually, I agree with Kaiser. I saw the questions, a lot of very good questions from the team members, from the team who ask us, but unfortunately, we don't have time to answer all questions. As Kaiser said, let's continue to have more sessions related to the same idea. Also to discuss about, it's not about the pandemic time, also the current situation, also to talk more about the community management and the future of the community management in Dubai. And then I would like to say thank you all for this great webinar. Stay safe and stay connected, and Eid Mubarak in advance to everybody.
Eid Mubarak.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. And Eid Mubarak to all of you and your families. Use this time to bond with your family members. We are socially distant, but we can be virtually very close. And I think all of us have felt this, that we have actually become closer. I've actually felt this, and I'm sure each of you have felt this, because we are part of that same situation all of us are going through. So this is a time for us to reconnect to each other. I'm going to leave this webinar now on time, but just want to say that this has been recorded. It will be available on the DREI website. The Q&A will be there. And I want to end by thanking both Kaiser and Ahmed. I know they're very busy during this time. I really appreciate them spending this time with us. Inshallah, we'll be having more as we move along. I want to thank Ms. Hind, our CEO, for organizing this, and to Saji for monitoring. And with that, I wish you all good luck and farewell till we meet again. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.